name is Laura Rose and I'm here with Fantascize.com to do our first video book review in a series of book reviews we're going to start doing for you guys. The first book that I'm going to talk to you about is The Way of Kings by Sanderson, which is the first book in his epic fantasy series, The Stormlight Archive. And you can tell it's going to be awesome because of those two dudes with massive swords on the front. We're about to go on a giant adventure. I really like this book. It's nice and big. I knew I was going to have some fun, although when I was halfway through I realized that it is book 1 of 10 and he's only written 2 of the books, so that means that I'm going to be 60 years old by the time this shit is finished. Spend the rest of my life waiting for people to finish their epic fantasies. George, I'm talking to you. So I really enjoyed this book. The first 300 pages are a lot of exposition, so it is a little bit slow. You're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on until about this point. It's awesome though. There's a lot of description. He talks a lot about the characters, the land, the dialogue, everything. It's really cool. I think that the thing that really kept me going through the beginning was as him describing the land. Rashar is a country that's dominated by really violent storms. They're like thunderstorms, hurricanes, and tornadoes mixed all together, and they can, destroy houses, move boulders, all that stuff. And he describes it really well. The plants suck themselves back in like sea anemones. The animals are kind of a mixture of crustaceans and dogs and stuff like that. It's really cool. So that's what keeps you moving throughout, is all of his description. He talks about 4 main characters, and we see what's happening to them through their eyes and sometimes through the eyes of the people that are around them. Shalyn is a scholar who is really witty. You have to pay attention in her chapters because she is a smartass, and if you're not watching, she's going to say a joke and you're going to miss it. I like the way that Sanderson is really distinct in each character's voice. So Shalyn is obvious to spot. Dalinar is the next character. He is a warrior general who is dealing with a lot of court politics. I thought he was a more stagnant character. I wasn't really interested in what he had to say because all the other characters were so interesting. So I'm kind of just like trying to get through his chapters as fast as possible so I can get to the next character. It's like when I read George R. R. Martin and all I want to do is read about Daenerys. I'm like, more dragons! So I just skip really fast to see what she's going to do. That's the same thing with Dalinar. Trying to read about Shalyn or Sazeth or Kaladin. You're just like, okay, whatever, get to the point. Sazeth is the next character. He is really mysterious. We're focused on one kingdom in this book, and he's from the opposite side of the world, so there's not a lot that's known about him or his past or why he's doing what he's doing. I can't tell you much more than that because I don't want to give it away, but Sanderson writes Sazeth's abilities really fascinating, so definitely read it just to find out what he can do. The last character is Kaladin. I think he's the most relatable character in the book because we see a lot of his history, a lot of flashbacks that tell about who he was then, and we also see him in the present day. He also deals with a lot of hope and despair issues because he's in a situation that he can't really control, and points where he feels like giving up, you really relate to it because he's struggling, and it's awesome. He's the underdog. You really are rooting for him the whole book. Sanderson has said that he's going to be writing each book focusing kind of on one character, and this is definitely Kaladin's book. You really root for him and want him to go far. I really liked the book. There are a lot of great adventures and also some underlying themes. The biggest one, I think, being honor and duty and responsibility versus the needs and wants of the characters. So they each struggle with that in their own way, between what they feel like they have to do and what they actually want to do. And that's definitely something that everybody, I think, can relate to. So when you're reading it, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I totally understand what you're going through. They also talk about religion versus science. So the whole country has been defined by the ancient gods and what happened in the past, and where we're at today is seeing the conflict of the supernatural and these old gods coming back into the mortal world, and all of our characters dealing with what's happening to them and their place in the story. And it's really cool because something that you don't see in a lot of epic fantasies in this book, the engineering and science is starting to catch up to these old religious artifacts, and they're starting to replicate them, so I really liked that part. They also talk a lot about prejudice because everybody is ranked based on their eye color. So if you have blue eyes, you are a higher rank than anyone with brown eyes, which I felt was a little bit silly. I'm like, that's so stupid. What a weird way to rank people. But in our society, we basically judge people based on their skin color and their appearance. So it kind of makes you think about the prejudices that you have in your daily life. And I have brown eyes, which means that I could never be higher than someone with light eyes. So I'm like, what the hell? That's so annoying. So they talk about that a lot, and it really brings it to the forefront because you are ranked based on your eye color. There's no getting around that. And there's no way that you can advance your rank there's rumors that you can by doing certain things, but really those are all ancient and nobody believes that they can actually happen. This book is really awesome. I definitely suggest reading it. It has a lot of great artwork and visuals, so if you're like me and you like to look at things, those pictures, they're not overly intense in the book, but there's enough spread throughout that it's really cool. It shows you some like glimpses of what he's describing. The only thing I want is more maps, because you only see 2 maps, one of the overall continent and then one of the kingdom that we're focusing on. I wish there's more. I hope that there's more coming up in the rest of the series. So this book is great. The breaking point for me was page 845. I actually wrote it down in my notes when I could not put it down anymore and I just had to read, and I actually made my roommate take it away from me because I had other shit that I had to do. But then she gave it back so I could finish it later. It was awesome. I say that this book definitely rocks your world if you like epic fantasies, really well written characters, a lot of cool magic, and you should definitely check it out. You should also go look at our website, Fantascize.com. Check us out on Facebook, Fantasy and Sci-Fi Rock My World. And you can look at my website, Laura.me. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and send me some pictures. I'll put them on my Instagram. Give me some comments about what you thought about Way of Kings and this book review. I would love to read them. Check us out. And also, next I'll be reviewing Words of Radiance, which is book number 2. I'm only halfway through it right now, so don't give me any spoilers, but this one is also really awesome. So look for that coming up next. Thank you!